So visual testing is where it takes a picture of your application in, its desired state. It saves that as a baseline. So when you're first writing that test, right, you know how you look at it as a human being and you're like, yeah, that looks good. All right, boom, that's your baseline. And so then when you run your regression test, it'll take another screenshot and it'll compare those two screenshots together to determine if there are any differences there, right? So that's visual testing. Now you can run this at like the component level. So say you have, storybook library with all of your components, you can run that visual test against, and I consider that like the unit test of front end testing. You can run this against like all of the various components to make sure in isolation, they all look like they're supposed to look, right? You don't want to just leave it there because we've all seen where things start overlapping or different viewport sizes, they're bleeding off the edge of the page and stuff like that. So that's where you would test like your full page. Now, I want to say like, so your front end, there's so many things that can go wrong that if you don't do this whole visual piece, I often question like, why are you even testing the front end at all? So the front end, when you are at that level, you're testing not just the functionality, because you could have tested that at a lower level, right? You're also testing the display of stuff. That's what the browser is for, right? To display, accept the input, present some output. So you have to verify that presentation. Otherwise, why are you even on the browser? And unfortunately, a lot of the testing tools, they're amazing, but they all work with the DOM, right? If you ask them, is this text present on the screen? They're not looking on the screen. They're looking on the DOM to see if that text is in the DOM. And it's going to say, yes, it's there. Well, I've seen not millions, but quite a few cases where the text is maybe same color as the background, so you can't even see it. Or, it's bleeding off the edge of the page. It's hidden by some other element that's overlapping it. It's upside down. It's whatever. Like there's a million things that can go wrong. And we've all seen these things before, especially when you start changing the viewport sizes, right? And that's the challenging thing about front-end development. You all know this. All of the different browsers, all of the different viewport sizes, breakpoints and stuff like that. So it's a great way to test all of those things without having to write a ton of code to try to do so.